You know your specific person is you, right? I mean, you are perceiving them through your own lens. The eyes of this body that you are in are yours, are that of God. But no one else has ever perceived from your eyes. You are the only one perceiving through them. That includes sight, that includes all of the senses: hearing, smelling, touching, tasting. Essentially, you have created your specific person. They come from you. They are of your creation, in that the way that you're perceiving them is coming from you. Okay? This is not to say that if they've done something that you deem to be unfavorable, that you caused it. This is to say the way that you perceived it, or are perceiving it, is coming from you. So if you can perceive it one way, you can perceive it another way, and another way, infinite times, and in infinite ways. You know, I get a lot of DMs or questions asking about their specific person, and it's always accompanied by a story. I like stories because I need some context. I need to see how much you know where you're coming from with it, okay? I like to meet people where they're at. With those stories, yes, we have context. But if we're continuously repeating those stories to a dozen people, right, we're still living in that story. So the answer is not to fix the story. It's not to change the story. It's not even to tell a new story, to come up with some grandiose new story and then try to force yourself or the mind to believe it. Okay, we don't need to be convincing the mind of anything. This is why when people do all of those affirmations and write down and journal and change a story and all that, it might give you some 3D results, but the way that it's sustained or maintained is most of the time not going to stick, because we've just been doing repetitive motions and not really getting to the root, which is identity. So if you have a story that you've been trying to change and you're like, well, it's just not, they're just not changing. They're not conforming. I'm persisting. I'm holding true to this new story. But when you look out into the 3D, it's not there, right? Because first of all, number one, we're looking out to the 3D. Like, we know we don't need to do that, okay? And I understand that we are living in the human bodies, okay? I understand that. I know that we want to feel, smell, taste, touch, all of the things. We want to experience it with all of the senses. I totally get it. When we get very specific with this new story, with this new version that we think we're creating, okay, we're not even the doer, but that's a whole other video. When we get so specific with these things, what happens is the ego will place conditions on it. It will objectify it and try to define limited ways of how this is going to happen. And then it goes off on its own random creation journey and then starts to create conditions, experiences, and then it will give you proof. It will show you, oh yes, here's a little bit of that, because all the whole time we're looking out here for things to change, when that's not how creation works. All of that stuff, that's manipulation. That's not manifestation. So for me, and you guys can do this any way that you want, but for me, it is more effective, okay, to go general. I don't get specific on anything, really. You can if you want, okay? But when you're so wrapped up in a story and living in this ego identity, it is a lot more effective if we head straight to dropping the ego identity and knowing that we are source, knowing that we are the awareness of all of this. And we don't need to be concerned with what's going on, who said what to who, if your SP blocked you, if they have a 3P, if they said they never want to talk to you again, and all the reasons why it couldn't happen, or it has to, this, and this thing has to happen before you all can get back together, or before you can live in your end and have all the fun things. But all of that is not, that's not the truth. That is a creation of the ego. That is the separate self saying, oh yes, living in logical land and time, linear time. Because remember all of these things in your life that happened, and here's all the ways that it happened because you had to take a certain action, blah, 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 like, or you were inspired to do this and that. That is all, it's a bunch of fucking stories. It's a bunch of ideas and conditions and theories that produced some results. But the results that we're seeing are all perceived by each individual person. So there is a reality where nobody gets manifestations based on techniques that they do, right? There's realities where people, that's all they do is techniques, and they get manifestations and get their people back and win the lottery or whatever, right? Like all there, because there's infinite realities. It's just where our focus is, guys. It's where our attention is placed. The more that we can withdraw from what we are not, we can start to see, we can perceive the truth in what we are, which is God, source, awareness. If you're going to tell me a story that you had your SP and then you lost them and they had a 3P, but you manifested the 3P away, and now they're telling you this story that they still love this 3P, but you guys can't be together, but maybe, and now you can't look at them a certain way, you can't change your story about them, then don't change the story. Don't change the story. You don't need to change the story. You choose who you are. You say right now, I don't care what is happening. I don't care what I'm seeing. I don't care what I have seen, because that doesn't matter anyway. I know that I am with SP. I know it. It doesn't matter what I'm seeing. It doesn't matter what they said. I know that just as much as I know my name. Just as much as I know that I'm going to blink every however many seconds. I'm going to breathe after I say a word or 2 words or whatever. You know that. You don't have to think about it. Okay? You know all of that stuff. You don't even have to think about it. It's the same thing. I know it seems like it's not. I know it seems like, sometimes we're better at manifesting money than we are people. But it's our identity. And when I say that, I don't mean a version with specific character traits and a personality. I'm talking about you are knowing that you are God's source awareness, which is all things. And then you have the choice to decide how you're going to perceive things based off of who you know yourself to be, which is God. There is absolutely no way that you can get this wrong. There is no way that you can hold back your manifestations. There is no block, because when you're looking at it through the eyes of source, there's no fear, there's no anxiety, there's no depression, there's no trauma, there's none of that is there. And you guys, this is not spiritually bypassing, okay? So don't come at me with that shit. This is knowing that you have never been the body. You have never been the ego identity. You have never been a certain character. You have always been God's source awareness. And from there, when you stand steadfast in that, no matter what, things have to change. They have to, because that's all you're seeing. That's all you're able to see. That's all you're able to perceive at that point. There's no fixing because nothing's wrong. There's no situations. The one who says there's a situation is the ego, is the character that is judging what it's perceiving. And yes, things can happen. Bad things can happen, okay? In our awareness. We can see something and we're like, oh shit, I don't like that. That doesn't mean that you caused it. You're just looking at it. You're aware of it. Okay. Do you want to stay in that? Do you want to stay and continuously think about that? No. Okay, so then don't identify with it. That has nothing to do with you. Just because you saw it doesn't mean that you created it. It's an illusion anyway. Perceptions are illusion, unless you're perceiving through the eyes of God. That is the knowing. That is the truth that we're talking about. So I'm not here to give you specific techniques on how to manifest an X-back or manifest an SP. This is you understanding who the fuck you are. All right? And that is not this ego. That is not this character that has all these stories about how you can manifest all other things except an SP. That's not it at all. Okay? You come back to the remembering of who you are, what you are, and that is God. Nothing is a problem for God. We are not, right now, we are not the doer. So we're not manifesting them back. It's appearing in our awareness right now that they're not with us, that we're not together. Okay? But that's not the truth. If that's not what you want, then it's not the fucking truth. And we don't have to be worrying about it and saying affirmations and doing all the moon water crazy shit. We don't have to do that. I mean, if you like to do that, then fine, but that's not what's manifesting. Doing that is not what's manifesting unless you say, yes, this is what I do. Every time I manifest something, I notice that before it manifests or appears to me that I did my moon water ritual. Okay, fine. Then that's great. But that's not going to work for everybody, okay? So that's why it is what you choose, all right? But it's not those techniques. It's never the techniques that do the manifesting. That's what the ego likes to believe. So please don't fall into that. It's a decision. And I know sometimes that's hard for people to just jump straight to the decision, okay? I get it. But it really is just the decision.